Welcome back to my channel. So last night we saw the premiere of Ready to Love season 3. And I don't know if y'all have been watching this, but for the past 2 years they've had this show on OWN called Ready to Love. It follows a bunch of young black professionals in their quest to find love. So they filmed it in Atlanta for season 1 and season 2. This year they decided to do something different, and now they're shooting it out of Houston. So not only is the location different, but it's also different in that they are all going to be staying in this big luxurious house. So before, folks would go on dates and they would have mixers and things like that, but this time around, they're all going to be under one same roof. So if you recall, I'm dating myself here, but if you recall shows like The Real World, things, well, Big Brother is still on, things like that, it's that kind of setup where everybody's under the same roof. This is going to make it a lot more interesting. Last night was the casting. So they showed the 10 women and the 10 men who are going to be in the show this season. The first episode starts next week, but I did have some thoughts about the folks that they did cast. And when you watch reality shows like this long enough, you start to get a sense of who's going to be who. Like who's going to be the villain, who's going to be the most sought after woman, who's going to be the most sought after man, that kind of stuff. So I have some predictions and I have some opinions about the folks. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to start with the woman. So the first woman was named Joy. Joy, beautiful woman, big hair, lots of personality. Her story is that she is apparently divorced, and her husband, and she knew 1 week after getting married that he was the wrong one. She says she's a relationship person, and she says she has a really high libido. We see that this is probably somebody who is going to hone in early on the man that she wants, and she's probably going to lead with sex or reference sex a lot because that's what they do. The next one was Winter. Winter stood out to me. I thought she was super cute. She gave me some LaToya Luckett vibes. She's a cute girl, short blonde hair. She too had been married. She says that her husband cheated on her a week after the honeymoon or something like that with his coworker. So she's got a story here too. She might have some baggage that might lend to how she moves in the house. But she seems super cute. She seemed like she had a good personality. So I'm kind of rooting for her already. She's one of my favorites. Next we have Denise. Now Denise is a former track athlete. I think she said she went to Grambling or some other HBCU. And now she's a track and field coach. Denise seems a little hard. She seems like she might be, she might have some baggage. She might be a hard nut to crack. Seems a little bit angry. I don't know what her past is. She did say she only had 3 or 4 real relationships in her life. So she strikes me as the kind of woman who probably gives her all when she's in a relationship, and maybe she gave her all and it wasn't reciprocated, or they didn't do right by her. So she seems a bit angry. In some of the clips moving forward, we saw her screaming at other folks or talking tough. So I think that's going to be her shtick for this season. She's going to be the hard girl. Next we have Simone. Now Simone is 30, in her late 30s. She's an attorney. She's giving me some Vanessa Williams vibes, some Giselle Bryant from Real Housewives of Potomac, a little Kenya Moore. She has light eyes. I don't know if they're hers or not, but there's something about her that she's kind of like all 3 of these women mixed together, visually at least. Really cute. She talks a little bit about how because of her job, she has to be assertive and make a lot of decisions, and she's looking to be in a relationship with somebody who can take the lead and she can kind of fall back a little bit and maybe submit. She didn't use that word, but that's kind of what I took from it. She's going to be interesting. Another thing about her that I found interesting was she was talking a little bit about her daddy issues. She said that she was getting into relationships with men, and it was all based on, she was picking the wrong men, and it was based on the fact that she had some issues with her father. She said she invited her father to go to therapy with her, and they started going on dates and started hanging out more, and now they have a great relationship. I thought that was such a cute story. It really shows you how she has some emotional maturity going on. She knew she had a problem and she tried to resolve it. She took the steps, and now she's in a better place with her father. Hoping that this renewed relationship she has with her father lends to her making better decisions with men. So we will see. I think she will be a fan favorite of the men because she is very pretty and she seems like she has a great personality. So I think she'll be sticking around for a while. Next we have Naya. Naya is a 42-year-old salon owner. Naya's interesting because she said that she had 4 miscarriages. She apparently wants to have children. In her treatment, she said, you know, juice her up, so she's ready to get knocked up. So I guess she's realizing she's 42 and her eggs are drying up and she wants to get pregnant. She said something about like she doesn't have to be married, but she definitely wants to get pregnant and they can do it out of order. So there's a sense of urgency with her. And that sense of urgency, while I understand it as a woman of a certain age, that can be problematic because sometimes it reads desperate. So I hope that that's not the vibe she gives off in the house. That doesn't send her home early because men might feel like she's just putting it on too hard or she's just moving too quickly. So we'll see what happens with Naya. Lastly, there's maybe 3 or 4, there's 10 women and 10 men. I'm only going through 6 because these 6 seem to stand out to me because they had interesting personalities. The other 4, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them, but they just didn't strike me as extremely interesting. The last person I want to talk about is Alicia. Now, Alicia gives some Lisa Ray vibes. Pretty woman. I think she referenced that she used to be a big girl. She's lost some weight. She also talks about how men always want sex or they just want you to take care of them, and she's not doing either. But she does reference her sexuality a lot. So it sounds like she's talking out of both sides of her mouth. She doesn't want a man who's all about sex, but then she's leading with her sexuality. She also seems like she's going to be a firecracker. She's going to be somebody that the fans are going to either love or hate. I think she's going to be around for a while. She might even be somebody we see after this is all said and done. You know how we get every season of a reality show, you get that one breakout star who then moves on and starts to do a lot of other things. Alicia's that girl. I can definitely see that already. I see conflict with her and the other women. I see some stuff going on with the guys. I see some moments with her crying, and I think there's going to be some growth throughout the season. She also mentioned how she is very superficial and she was into looks and she wants to be with a man where they look good together. So, you know, there's some baggage there. There's some stuff she's going through. Maybe she still kind of has some of that big girl insecurity inside of her. But I think there's going to be a lot to unpack with Alicia, so I'm looking forward to her. And you can always tell who's going to be a big star too, because while they were giving those little treatments, they did 2 of hers. They did one right before the commercial and they came back and they were talking about her still. So that's a sign right there that she's going to be somebody that we need to pay attention to. So let's move on to the fellas. Who stood out to me? David. So he's a country boy, a self-admitted country boy from Texas. He says he likes to ride horses. He fixes things. He's just like a good old boy. He mentioned that he has some trust issues, that he's been hurt in the past. And it makes sense. He seems like he's a pure soul. He's a good guy. He tries to do the right thing. He probably leads, puts his heart on his sleeve, puts it all out there. Maybe not too savvy. But I think that's going to make him a fan favorite with the ladies. I think women love that down home, pure spirited, easygoing, no airs about them type of guy. And David gives us all of that. So, you know, and he's a good looking guy. So I think he's going to be a fan favorite. And I think he's not going to know how to deal with all this, because this is probably the first time that he's going to have this level of attention all at once. So I think this is going to be a struggle for him. It might go to his head initially and then he'll catch himself, or he just might hone in on one woman and just kind of make it her and focus on her for the rest of the episode, while the other women are in the background trying to vie for his attention. But we'll see. Next we have Sam. Sam is an artist. And I'm not trying to boo-hoo. I'm not trying to shit on artists. But I think an artist is one of those things that's easy to say that you are, because nobody's going to dispute it. You know, I don't know exactly what he does. I don't know if it's some kind of, you know, visual art. I mean, I think he said he's a visual artist. I don't know, but I think he's going to go home early. He strikes me as somebody who's in his head. He seems like he thinks he's probably deeper than he is. Probably talks a lot. Probably is very metaphorical. I just don't think that he's going to grasp the interests of these women. You know, this is a very short time span. You have to come out the gate strong, and he strikes me as a slow burn type of guy. Don't think it's going to go too well for him. Raymond. Now Raymond is interesting. Raymond is going to be the male Alicia. He's 52 years old. He's a professional guitarist, I believe, but I'm sure he has another job because he has 5 kids. I don't know how many different baby mamas, but if you got 5 kids, I'm sure, you know, playing the guitar is not your full-time income. He says that, oh, another thing, I think he said that he might even be a grandfather. I could be making that up, but he's 52 and he looks damn good for his age. Good looking man, seems like he has personality, seems like he's been through some stuff. He's had a lot of relationships. He probably has a lot of experience with women, how to navigate all of this. I think he's going to be the one that they're all gonna go after. Him and David the country boy. I think they're gonna like David. I think that David and Raymond are probably 2 ends of the spectrum. You know, Raymond is probably, you know, savvy, really experienced with the ladies. His game is tight. Whereas David seems a little more pure, a little more green. And I think that's also going to be appealing. So I think we're going to see that these two are going to be at the opposite ends of the spectrum, and the women are going to like them both and probably vacillate back and forth between them. Raymond is somebody to watch. He's going to be interesting. Christopher KG Smooth. He's a radio personality. Any grown man that has the name Smooth in his name is a no-go for me. People who are smooth don't have to say they're smooth, and the fact that it's your name is just very telling. When he came out in the pink suit with no shirt, I was done. Not talking about him no more. Kalfani or Kalani, something like that. He's a personal trainer. There's always one. We always gonna have a personal trainer there, somebody with a really nice body. That will pull in the chicks in the beginning. Hope there's some substance, because if not, he'll be going home sooner than later. Unless one of those superficial chicks grabs onto him. So that might be the thing. Rashid. Rashid is a wild card. Tall, bald, light skin, has an interesting career. I think he does something with luxury cars. Seems like a nice guy. He has a kid. He says he wants a relationship, and I believe him. I really do believe it. He has honest eyes. He's either going to be just ignored and one of the first to go home, or he's going to garner a lot of attention because he's a good guy. So the first couple of episodes are going to be really touch or go for Rashid. So he might have to come in with a little bit of a bad boy edge just to get their attention, and then he can kind of pull back and be who he really is. But if he's too clean and green and above board, nah, they're gonna pass right on him. So again, there are others, but these are the 6, 12, what did I do, 6 and 6? Yeah, I did 6 guys, 6 women. Those are the 12 that I found interesting. The others, we might have some others that come out the gate and they're really interesting. I don't know, but just from what I saw, I think those are the 6, those are the 12 that people are gonna pay attention to. Next week, the episode actually starts. They'll be moving into the house, and you know, they're always gonna have a nice mixer in the beginning. We're gonna see all the shenanigans. I am here for it. This is Ready to Love season 3. I think it's called, what is it called? Anyway, it's Ready to Love season 3, based in Houston. I have a feeling this is going to be a good season, and let's talk about it. Tell me what you thought about my predictions or my assessments of these folks. Tell me what you think about them. If I missed some people who you think are really interesting, let's talk about them as well. I will see you guys next week. Please do not forget to like and to comment and to subscribe. I'll see y'all next week.